Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our sister. So this is the translation that you will be listening to. The translation, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as Grace? I am a 60-year-old woman. I always listen to your confession. So I have my own story that I want to share with you. And first of all, I know that in the comment section there are those that are going to say that I have an evil heart, but the one that is supposed to be called a woman who has an evil heart, it is my mother-in-law. Even though she passed away, I wish that she rots in hell and she never find peace even in death because of the things that she did. And do you know that my mother-in-law, when I got married, I was still very young, 16 years at that time, and she poured hot water on me. And even right now, whenever I look on that wound, it always reminds me of how cruel she was. So after she had started mistreating me, that was when I thought of going around visiting some healers so as to protect my own marriage. As I was going around, that was when I met another healer who gave me some potions. Unfortunately, some of the love potions that were given to me, and I was told that I had to cook food for the entire family and I had to put the love potions in there. Then my mother passed away of food poisoning. After she had passed away, that was when her spirit started haunting me. It all started with her, this woman. If she had been kind to me, I was a woman who used to go to church, but because of her, I ended up returning back to that healer and telling that healer everything that was happening because I started seeing a ghost even the day when her body was taken from the mortuary and we were supposed to bury her the following day. I started seeing a spirit accusing me, telling me that I was the reason as to why she had to die. So after that, I was then given my own Tokoloshe, a spirit, a short boy that protects me. With time, I was then given another snake because this Tokoloshe of mine told me that it was feeling really lonely. So it made me to become its own wife even when my husband was still alive. And then it said that still it was lonely. It wanted another spiritual being, a friend. So it said, that was when I was given, but I went to another traditional healer there in Mutoko, close to the Zimbabwean-Mozambican border. That was when I was given a python. It is also a Tokoloshe Chikwambo in Shona. And after I was given that, I then found out that it was a spirit of a woman who had been killed and her body parts had been used. She also demanded that she wanted a husband. So what was I supposed to do in that situation? She wanted my own son. So I said, how about if I give you the men that I will be dating? She said that was fine, and I had not yet started cheating on my husband, still, since he was still alive, and I then started cheating on him. What my boyfriends did not know was that me cheating on my husband, it was not because I was a loose woman. As a Christian woman, I know that cheating is very wrong, but I was doing it because I wanted that snake to have a partner since it always wants to sleep with men. So I would go to Zambia and I would buy some mopani worms and then I would come and I would sell them in my own country. That is how I started making money. I opened a small butchery and I then started my own supermarket until I bought a bus as well as several trucks and a mine as well. So growing up, I grew up in the rural areas of Mashonaland. My family was very poor. And that was the reason as to why my mother-in-law hated me a lot. When she found out that I was about to get married to her son, she hated me with all of her heart, but still because of the poverty that was back home, even though she was mistreating me, I told myself that there was no way that I could return back home. because me being married, it was almost, I was the only hope of the family. Whatever my husband was giving to me, that was what I was going and giving to my own parents. So I stayed there even though she was mistreating me. After I had used all of these charms, that was when I dated the first guy that I dated, the one that I sacrificed after so many years of dating after my husband had passed away. This man, I'll call him Simba, he was only 23 years old, even younger than my firstborn son. He was handsome, full of life. He was a drunkard, though, and very handsome. I met him at a club here in Harare, and he was working as a bartender. He was charming, sweet-talking, and clearly interested in me, despite the age difference. I invited him to my home, and then I started treating him nice. I gave him a car. I did not care if he would go around using my car whilst he was dating other women, because I knew what I wanted from him. This man, he was totally intoxicated by the attention and everything that I was providing for him. So me and him, whilst we were making love, what he did not know was that he was helping me perform the ritual, and he thought that he was sleeping with me, but what was happening in reality was that he was sleeping with my snake, that python. So this snake, whenever I bring any of my victims into my home, this python will be waiting underneath the bed. As we will be making love, then this python, it will climb and it will get on top of the bed. Then it will go on top of the man. The man won't even realize that he will be making love to a snake, and at that time when the snake is on top of the bed, then I will tell the men that I will be with that I want to do that style that they call woman on top. The moment that I am on top, then I will disappear from that room. Then the snake, it will just take my image. Then it will start to sleep with him. It will do this throughout the night. It even has the private part of a woman. Even physically, when I see it, it has the private part of a woman. So after the snake would have slept with one of my Ben 10, with time the man will start to get sick, and then he will die. And when he would have died, the more the money that I'll be making. Then there was another guy whom I'll call Tinashe, not his real name. He was a student from University of Zim. He was ambitious, bright, and full of potential. So since I am doing a lot of charity work, that is how I got to know him. He was desperate for money and desperate for someone to pay his school fees. I saw the desperation in his eyes. I knew that this one was going to be easy to manipulate. I offered what he needed, money and a place to stay. He never questioned my intentions. I was renting for him, and he did not know that I was even grooming him for a much darker purpose. When the time came, I also performed the ritual that I had performed with Simba, and after that, that was when I dumped him. He then passed away. The last man that I was with, who passed away in the beginning of this year, his name, I'll call him Farai. So this man, we just met out of nowhere. When I met him, I was at this other restaurant, and he just came to me and he asked me for my own phone number. And I said, with the way that you are young, are you not even embarrassed? Because I am old enough to be your grandmother. But he was a man who was very confident, and that was what I loved about him. And then I performed the ritual as well with him, but he was very suspicious. The moment that I told him that I wanted to do the woman on top style, for a while he refused and he said, no, it's fine like this. But I told him that when I am making love to a man, that is the type of a style that makes me to come quick. And he then allowed me. The moment that he was sleeping on the bed and I was lying on top of him, that was when I disappeared. He did not see anything. The snake came and it made love to him throughout the night. I can only appear somewhere around 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. Then the snake will return back into the room where it stays, because in my house there is a room because in my house there is a room where I keep all of the items that I use for the rituals. It's more like my altar room. That is where it stays. Even my mates, they know that they are not allowed to enter into that room no matter what. I am now 60 years old and I have to continue with this ritual. As for now, I don't have any young men that I am dating in particular, but I am supposed to find another man. It is just that I am tired of sacrificing these young men that I date. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister right there. Strange things, they do happen in this world. Yo.